Hello again, it's Noob, and if you know me, you know I love federal locks. I'm always combing eBay for as many of them as I can. I just think they're kind of cool. They're a fun pick for intermediate pickers, I'd say. They're not particularly difficult most of the time, but I do kind of like them. And I've had this lock in my collection for so long, I can't even remember when I really got it or where I got it from, but it's cooler than it looks. It looks a bit like a standard puck lock, but let me turn it this way. Some reason, and I don't know why they've done this, they made it almost twice as thick as a standard puck lock. In fact, I think it is twice as thick. It's a real beast. Definitely one to resist those physical attacks. Now, I can't find anything about this online. I've had a look, but it seems to be one of the Federal 400 series padlocks, but just an extra thick one. Do they still make them? I don't know. Maybe I was just lucky to get hold of one. If you have one, do let me know in the comments. So yeah, this appears to be a 6-pin core, and I've taken the back off and had a look, and well, what they've done is, it surprised me. It's interesting, well, to me at least. So let's try and give this a pick. If we pick it, we'll try and gut it and see what's actually inside this thing. So we are in the vise, and this lock really is a beast. It weighs over 1.5 kilograms, which is well over 3.5 pounds, I think, something like that. And there's the key, 6 pins, seem to go medium then high, then super low, super low. Are they zero lift pins? I guess we'll find out. The sprung shackle at the bottom, which will shoot out if you're not careful. We'll pop top of the keyway tension in. We'll just go, let's try the front first, nothing 1. Try for any binders, pin 2's binding. Little click out to 2, little click out to 3, nothing on 4, nothing on 5, nothing on 6. Okay, back to the front. 1, nothing on 2, little click on 3, click on 4, nothing on 5, and little click on 6. Oh, and we're open. Look at that. So, I didn't feel any counter rotation, any spools. I would have expected spools to be in a federal lock, I'll be honest with you, but until we have a look inside, it's going to be very hard to see what is actually going on. So let's take the back off. Now, if part of this lock looks a little bit mangled, it's because I did try with a flathead screwdriver to take off. There we go. What looks like unscrewing this, but that isn't how this works. So I'm just going to try and pull this gently out while it's still unlocked. And then there's a little locking pin. I'll show you how all this works once I put it back together. And we should be able to gently, while it's still unlocked, just remove the back bits, which is a very clever mechanism. So at the end of the video, once the piece is together, I'll show you how all this works. And I'll put this massive lump over there. Now, I have a terrible habit of messing these kind of locks up. So I'm going to try and remove the circlip the best I can and use a front follower to open this up. So I'll try to catch the driver pins into the bottom of the keyway to keep it all stable as much as I can. I'm hoping they'll fire in. They aren't, but that might help. Okay, I'm just going to try to stabilize it with my fingers while I want to just try and push this circlip off if I can. I wonder if I can rotate it round. Or pull this off using the hook side of this gut wrench. Got to be careful that this doesn't turn around when I do this. It's going to be a real pain, isn't it? I can tell. Just catch the edge of that circlip somehow. Maybe put a turning tool the other way in this, that would help, wouldn't it? Yeah, something like that. Okay. Okay, so should be able to push this circlip off now, I hope. Yeah, it's getting there. Swap hands. Try to keep this locked. Yeah, got it. Right. Ah, that's a lot of effort for just a circlip, wasn't it? Right, let's see if I can get this follower down here, or whatever we want to call that. And then gently, I should be able to just pull out the plug, I'm hoping. Should be able to. And we have a little ball bearing drop out, probably an anti-drill one. So I've got to bear that in mind. Where did that come from? No idea. Little ball bearing just came out of that. I need to figure out where from. Could it have been from here at the back somewhere? No, couldn't have been there. Nothing at the front. Could have been in one of the pin chambers like construction keying. I don't know. We'll figure it out a bit later. So all of these pins are standard from what I can tell. There we go. And then we're going to pop that front follower in like that, and that should work for us. And we'll go from the back or the front. Let's do the front. Get my tweezers and just take this apart. Oh, I've got a spring. There's the pin, and this one is just standard at the front. That is, wow, these springs are really long and springy. I think that they're all going to have to come out. Again, standard. I wasn't expecting that. Like a serrated pin, but deep enough that it should act like spools. Did I have to pick pin? Did I have to pick pin 3 twice? If so, I didn't feel like any counter rotation on it. Oh, another multi-spool. That was really lovely, but none of those really came into play. Not that I noticed. Nice pin though. I'll show you that up a bit close in a minute. Nice little... I want to call them spools, but they're very shallow. They're a combination somewhere halfway between standard and serrated. So, sorry, like a spool and serrated pin. They don't appear to be as effective from that picking. It's taken me far longer to extract the springs from this lock than it is to pick it. There we go. And I'll worry about putting this back together in a minute and showing you a bit more. But for now, here are all of the pins. Oh, there's the, you know what, I'm going to leave that ball bearing there since I know where it is. So pins 1 and 2 seem to be steel anti-drill pins. Then you've got just brass standard key pins for pin positions 3, 4, 5 and 6. Very long pins in chambers 5 and 6 here. Then steel standard in pin driver pins 1 and 2. Then you have these almost like multi-spools. They're like deep serrations. I don't know what you want to call them, but this one here is very cool. Look at this pin. That's a lot of cuts on that pin, isn't it? What I like is it seems to be mostly balanced stacks where they can have better, I guess, cuts on the key, greater max, but to compensate for the difference in key pin sizes, they have to make obviously shorter driver pins for the longer key pins to have these balanced stacks and also provide space for the springs. But yeah, very cool. Right, let me piece this back together and I'll show you how the actual thing works. So if you made it this far in the video, you might want to know more about the lock. So this is one of the Federal 2-star SKG cylinders. They're not massively hard to pick. They can be depending on the bitting and whether those 380D spoolie type pins really come into play. Unfortunately, they didn't on this lock. How does all this work though? Well, you have this little brass collar which acts as a sort of actuator. It's very cool. I thought that was a screw. It's not. It seems to be a spacer between this and the back plate somehow, just to keep it all tidy, I guess, at the back. To put this on, you just need to open the lock slightly and then slide it on, and then you'll see how it turns and restricts the movement of the lock turning, so it goes from here to here. And that's really it. That ball bearing on the inside corresponds with a little sprung cutout on the side of the cylinder, which goes into a little hole, so it sort of locates around there and snaps shut. It's kind of an interesting way to do it. I've never seen anything quite like that before. So if we were to insert this into the body, we have a little dimple there. We have a little pin, I guess, and you basically need to just sort of mash this together and hope for the best. It does sort of go in. Might need to pull this up a bit and wiggle it about side to side. It sort of goes there. So you sort of need to just get it aligned and then move that down like that. There we go. It's a bit of a fiddle, but you can get it. And then if I turn the key in the lock here, you'll see how there's a lot of play in the actual cam at the back. You see the little cam there moving, and then it'll open by exposing that little cup inside of this actuator piece to allow that ball bearing-y thing into the lock. There's a little pokey bit which aligns to that gap there to make sure that this pin doesn't rotate out of place. And that's really it. It's a very strange lock, but a very cool one, and I'm happy to have it in my collection. Hope you enjoyed that video. If you did, leave a like. If you have any comments about this lock, leave them below. I do read them all and reply to as many as I can. If you haven't subscribed, now's a great time to do so to get more content like this. And of course, I'll see you all next time.